Okay.
Are we not live yet?
We are live now.
Excellent. So, only 23 minutes late, we begin episode 7 of the Yeehaw Odyssey. Now, I believe, unlike most of the sessions, today we actually have someone who wants to do a recap, a dedicated recap on the stream. Speaking of the stream, actually, Society says it's not live.
Yes, it
Society,
is.
could you?
Yes, it is. He's live.
Is it just behind? Is it?
It's just behind. I just started
Okay.
hearing it as well, and it scared the shit out of me. Also, it sounds a bit weird, but that's just maybe on my end.
Fair enough. But anyway, like I was saying, one of our players today actually wants to do a specific kind of game recap. So take it away, Chase.
I'm not playing the music though. In the last episode,
come
of
on!
Yellow...
I did all that setup for you, and now you're going to half-arse it.
Do it.
You know you want it.
In the last episode of Yellow Gear, Grigori runs from his black child. CD steals from a hair. Grace almost gets corrupted by said hair, and Gunnar gets knocked out from said hair. And Bruce is still drunk.
Welcome to Yeehaw Gear.
So, I am going to say that was awful, but because of the creative input, I will give you DM inspiration.
Yay, I get to not suck at one roll.
Oh, no worry. The next roll you're gonna do is still sucking.
You get to suck at it twice.
Yeah.
Thank you for the encouragement, everyone. You see, this is why I play with you, because of all the positive reinforcement. What would I do
Yeah,
without you?
if I recall correctly, we returned to the building that we found the knife in. We discovered a demonic presence looming over us and staring us down from the shadows with candle-like eyes. We made sudden hasty moves to uproot camp and escape this thing because we figured it would be after us. And one of our friends here decided it would be a good idea to go off while being a horse and instruct a rabbit to hunt this thing down for us. The said rabbit then came back and corrupted by the dark fiend's monstrous ways. That's the one, presence. Came hunting us, nearly killed most of us. Oh god, yeah, that kind of thing. That's terrifying. And yeah, it's knocked out Bruce, knocked out someone else, nearly knocked myself out, but was fortunately slain, and we managed to get everyone up again. But we're in a bit of a pickle.
Bit of a pickle is right. Yeah, it had that thing had a, was it cone of fire or cone of cold? It was a monstrous.
It
thing.
was a modified version of Burn of Cold, which dealt fire damage instead of cold.
It, yeah, nearly killed me. Totally dead.
It was, to say this, to say the very least, dangerous. Possibly could have put the rabbit from Monty Python and the Holy Grail to an even fight, I'd say.
I kind of want one as a pet.
No.
That is a creature, by the way, the rabbit from Monty Python. It is a creature that has been started and may be unleashed upon you at some point. Also, that is perfect, Theo. That will be the new thumbnail once this recording is done.
Oh, for
All right.
fuck's sake, Theo. What the fuck did you just... Oh my god, that's horrifying.
I know. I regret it, but it's there.
Yay. Anyway, but the most important thing that we all should remember is that this knowledge is only out of character, not in character, so nobody could blame me.
Something that
Correct.
he has insisted upon several times now.
Yes, I am not getting blamed for giant death rabbit. Almost TPKing the party.
I mean, we can still blame you. We just have no proof.
Really?
I mean,
That's
you
not fair.
always scapegoat the minority, and well, you know, you are the minority.
Oh, so it's because I'm the only character in here that's not blonde haired, blue eyed. I
Yes,
get
that makes you
scapegoated.
inferior.
Yes.
You're also the only character who goes out and deforms and corrupts and does vile, savage things to cute animals.
I don't do wild savage things. I simply hunt. Now,
Tell us about
that's
them.
weird.
Tell us about the fox sparrow. Tell us about the fox sparrow and tell us it's not vile and cruel.
It wasn't violent. Okay, it may be a bit. Okay, it may be a lot. It may have been the definition of violent and cruel. I'll give you that. But the fox was hiding down there, and I wanted his pet. Now he
There's
could've
no
come out.
way. There's no way a giant mechanic bird could hunt down 6 million foxes.
It depends on how long the giant mechanical bird takes to hunt down one fox, and really you just extrapolate from
Theo.
there.
Theo, or because you're playing an elf doesn't mean you need to just stop talking about that.
Oh, apologies.
It couldn't possibly. I mean, it had wooden wings.
Okay,
Moving on.
Moving on. I may have been the definition of I may have been the definition of cruel and unjust treatment, but it isn't considered a war crime until we declare a war. So it wasn't a war crime.
Hmm.
There you have it.
It's never a war crime the first time.
Very true. If ever you're committing a war crime, make sure that you commit something that is new and novel.
Absolutely unique. And then they'll go, oh, well, we hadn't legislated
Yes.
for that.
Also, Ed, I would say that, but I'm afraid for my inspiration, so I'm not going to say that.
You're weak.
I need the inspiration. Sorry. I prefer to be alive than and weak than dead.
Do everything we can to make sure that we shock the Geneva Conventions.
Hmm. Wherever
Especially on
Geneva may
cute
be.
critters. Especially on cute critters. Anyway, let's carry on.
Anyway, we left off the party having just completed beating together a poor and defenseless rabbit, as can be seen here on this battle map. The party currently, who by the way are lacking the robot and Marsh, so just ignore the fact that they are there, those two have just mysteriously wandered off into the distance and likely won't be back until 2 weeks' time.
We haven't fully healed yet, have we? Or have we fully healed at this point after the
We've
battle?
done no healing. We were interrupted right at the end of a long rest.
Right.
We most definitely not now.
It is currently in the middle of the night, early hours of the morning, and you have just concluded being partially incinerated by a very, very angry rabbit. How do you proceed?
Can
We can't-
I was going to say, can we skin and are there useful bits of the rabbit? We went through
I
this,
already
didn't we?
said, yes, we already went through this.
We
I'm
also-
learning it right now.
One thing that we did was
Unfortunately.
trying to incinerate that thing.
Yes.
The rabbit is not in a salvageable state, I'm afraid, as the precise method with which Grace used to kill the rabbit was to effectively guillotine its body in half using her sword, as well as smiting it, ruining the fur. The rabbit is currently in multiple chunks,
And it's being
scattered
burned
around the
alive.
surrounding environment, and might, if you're feeling particularly starving, be suitable for being included in some kind of demonic flavored stew. But other than that, it's pretty much a lost cause.
I am
Considering it just staring at us was enough to nearly corrupt our very souls, I don't think we want to be eating it.
Does demonic stew taste nice? I mean, is it good for you? Do you get bonuses?
It might taste better if brewed into an alcoholic beverage, but
I
Do
don't know.
not
I don't know
even
if
give
you
him
Otherwise-
you
ideas.
don't brew proteins. No, brew carbs, sure, sugars. Yeah, great. You can't brew protein. It just rots, and
Indeed.
and then you get poisons of all manner.
Chase has been desperately trying to say something for the last minute and a half, so go ahead,
No.
Chase.
All I'm saying is, with all that discussion, CD is just picking up the pieces without even considering what the other part members are thinking about, and just is carrying them to the fire to burn it.
All right, that's fair enough. So, as the rest of you go about considering various uses for the demonic rabbit chunks, anybody who is paying particular attention would see the druid just wandering around, picking said chunks up and just dropping them into the fire.
Is there a foot? Can I get a foot?
No. I'm sorry,
Well,
but this is cursed, and we're not going to deal with cursed shit. There aren't many lessons I learned from the druids that I keep, except one. Don't fuck with cursed shit.
Can we see the lights on the horizon at all?
did you say the Ides on the horizon?
The eyes.
Oh, right. Make me a perception check.
You know what? I'll bash at that as well. Not that I'm particularly good at perception checks. But
Okay, so just wait for Trig to roll his own perception check.
first perception check, of course, is finding the
Do we
button
all need to
for the
do a perception check?
There we go.
On the left of the character sheet. There you go. You found it.
Yep.
So, I would say, Groose, you scan the horizon but don't seem to find much. Whereas, Kiki, you knowing that this creature seems to have been fond of traveling along the same road that you were traveling, focus your attention in a particular spot on the horizon. But after looking and repositioning a few times just to make sure you're not mistaking them for stars, no, you don't find anything. It's just a clear night.
It does seem to be gone. We can't keep pushing too much longer, or we're all going to collapse. We need to rest at some point, but we need a good watch. And we need somewhere safe and sheltered.
Is there a town nearby? I open up the map to see.
Well, let me just bring the party view over to the map. Currently, the party is somewhere around the tip of that alcove into the ocean you see there. I'll just point to it now. Right around there.
Yes.
So currently, the closest thing you have to a major settlement on the map is Verdenfeld. However,
That's where we came from, right? Didn't
Yeah.
We want a minor one. We
those-
don't want a giant one.
If there are other settlements, they're not on the map. You would have to go about trying to find signage on the road, or perhaps asking a passerby. Or maybe even consulting someone in the party who may have finer knowledge of the surrounding area.
Can I consult nature in it?
I would say so. You would have to use some kind of spell in order to commune with nature itself. But
It's alright.
We're closer to Lavendel than Verdenfeld, I would have thought.
to an extent, I'd say you're about halfway there. Maybe
Yeah.
55% to what I'd say maybe you're maybe like 5% closer to Verdenfeld than you are to Lavender.
All right.
Bear in mind, I selected this little point right here.
Sorry, I missed it. Yeah, got you.
All right.
was admiring artwork.
As I scan the map and see if there's any maybe minor settlements, I briefly notice that the map is quite literally filled with male genitalia. And I just look at the knocked out body of Bruce. Really?
What?
Bruce, by the way, at this point, is probably nursing some kind of horrible burn wound he's received, but isn't unconscious.
Yes, and I ask him, really?
I was bored, okay? I was bored, no one was around, no one was talking to me, it was late, I had a pen.
Where did you find... But never mind. Alright.
Look.
The map doesn't show any small settlements.
It's just a
so
couple of
I'm
dick
just-
trees, it's okay. It's dick trees and some boobs, it's nothing to it, it's fine.
There's a dragon in the bottom asking for pictures of feet.
I just want to point out, whoever replaced Empire with Reich did such a good job of it that I only just noticed.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Bravo!
That is excellent.
What? Well done. Anyway, I just
Actually
noticed...
impressive.
Not me.
I know it's not you. A human could have done
that was-
something so superior.
Wait. You're telling me everyone has been messing around with this map?
No.
You just admitted about the Reich, that word over there.
You can't even say the word. Which word do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about.
I can't.
Well,
Never mind.
where was the house on this map? Ginge. Where was the house?
It's the blue spot, I think.
The cottage was close to the blue spot, yes.
Yes. I just closed the map angrily, but almost, but not quite tearing it. I put it in the hands of Grace, and I tell her, don't let him touch it, please. And I just go out of my way and find anything that's smart enough to know about any nearby humans.
Okay. Just double checking. Did we lose anyone then, or was that just an audience member?
I'm here.
I'm here.
Audience member. I think
So
audience.
look, I think it was. I think so.
Yes, must have been an audience member. Fair enough.
Sorry, what?
So, someone disconnected from the chat, and I was just making sure it wasn't one of the players.
Ah, no, it wasn't.
So, just a quick question, Chase. Could you rename yourself to just Gopnik Chase on Discord so that all of the players' names are next to each other?
G1, G2,
Alright.
G3, G4.
Just 1 second.
In the meantime, how is the rest of the party going to continue with their with this travel?
I'm probably going to say, ow, it burns a lot, and try to heal that in some way. I do have some.
Yeah, same here.
Are there any?
At this point, the cook, the kobold leader in Scrack's absence, walks over to you, and just kind of looks at the party with dreary eyes, but just looks over you all and says, "Are you all okay?"
We've been better.
Look it.
Yeah, spot a bother with a rabbit.
A rabbit.
A rabbit. You wouldn't, fighty little bastard is all I can say. You wouldn't think it, but rabbit, yeah.
It wasn't
And
a
why
rabbit.
does it look like someone just threw you into a bonfire?
It was a hare. That's why.
Okay, that is splitting hairs a little, but yes, okay, it was a hare. It was a bigger rabbit, a bit more fighty than your average rabbit. Definitely, this one a lot more fighty. Bit of a thing for fireballs. I'm not sure how that happened.
Okay, so I've never heard of a rabbit that breathes fire, or a hare even.
You know what? Neither had we. Neither had we. And then there was one, and yeah, kicked
The
our
beast
ass.
seems possessed.
Hmm.
Okay, well, how about I go and get you some salve for that? I'll be right back.
That would be lovely. Thank you.
That would be
Wanders
great.
over to wanders overhead to her large pack, and you see as she disappears into the top of it, searching around, clunking and clanking various bits and pieces, before she manages to worm her way back out again. And it comes over to you with a small, what almost looks like a hockey puck-sized little container. She just hands it to you in her grease and says, this will at least make it feel a bit better. Don't use it all though. It's a bit well, I don't have any more of that, so don't use it all.
Okay, thank you.
She just nods and goes and sits back down.
I will use it very
Cook.
sparingly.
Cook, do you know anywhere around here that we can take shelter? We need to rest ourselves after this battle.
Yes.
Ah,
Somewhere with fewer rabbits. / hares.
you mean somewhere where you tall folks like to gather round?
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah. I remember. Okay, so I passed. I don't think you lot were paying attention, but there was a sign back the way we came a bit. We came across it in about the afternoon yesterday, saying that there was somewhere around here. As you know, I can't read, but there should be somewhere. You can turn into a flying thing, right?
Yes, I can.
Well, I'm sure if you went up, you'd be able to spot some light somewhere.
I thought about taking the lazy way out, but I kind of am burned out with the turnings. I need to commune, and then I might be able to.
I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna go sit over here now. Have fun. Just walks off.
Basically, in case anyone doesn't get it, I can only turn twice per short rest, and I turned twice already.
We did, just before hitting the fighting the rabbit, have we'd almost completed a long rest. Would that have
Yeah, we
changed
got
anything?
like 6-7 hours.
Yeah. That would have
That's
certainly.
already considered a long rest, in my opinion.
All right. Well, I would say that if you all sit around for another hour or so, that would be enough downtime combined with the time spent prior to the rabbit fight to constitute a long rest.
Right?
Oh, fantastic. We'll do that then.
But
By
yeah,
that time, sunrise will have arrived.
does that because long rest heals how much? Is it
Fully.
It's a full heal.
okay.
Oh,
That sounds
thank
like
God.
a nice cheat. I'm down with it. 21. Yeah,
Yeah.
lovely.
Yeah.
So you all rest through to the sunrise, and I would imagine that you don't manage to get back to sleep again, but just kind of sitting around and staring at the sky is typically good enough for the purposes of long resting, outside of extenuating circumstances, of course.
Yes, and CD is meditating right now.
Speaking of, I believe there was something that you wanted to cover regarding that.
Yes.
Go ahead and describe to those listening what CD would experience during his meditative stance.
All right. CD sits down. He's just behind. The boulder is just behind him, and he's sitting down, eyes closed and legs crossed. You see him almost glow, an eerie glow that reminds you of that creature, but not so. How should I say it? It's not quite the same, but it's near enough. Yeah, it sort of reminds you of corruption for some reason. as he's communing with the natural environment, the nature and the environment all around him, he sees all the atrocities that he has committed, from the rabbits that he hunted, the crows that he tricked, the dogs that he kicked, the cats that he stole from, the the fox pups that he slaughtered in their den, etc. All of the horrendous activities kind of denies him the release of natural energies. So CD already knows that these things would stop him from getting it, but he doesn't try and connect with them. No, he tries to connect with something much more new, a source of nature that's not quite natural. That source feeds him the energies that he wants. It's slowly but surely feeding him up and giving him the energy that he needs. As you see him just simply open his eyes, you see a furnace red fury within them, as if he was already turning in his meditative stance.
So, long story put short, basically you see as CD begins to become ever so slightly more evil.
Yes. And as soon as he finishes, he just gets up and says, "Yup," dusting his knees. "All right, I can turn now." And he just looks at you guys. You seen a fucking ghost? What the fuck are you looking at?
You sure that demon didn't get to you?
Oh, you mean how I look? Yeah, that's natural. It happened when I was, good gods almighty, when? 9, 10, something like that, in Urlegberg.
You just hear the cooks shout out over to you.
I wouldn't say that natural is the right word to describe what you just did.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Yeah, people
Anyway.
usually do that in private, not in public. Just saying.
I knew you would. Alright, Dick Scriber, I'm not going to even acknowledge you, and I'm going to turn into a hawk. Bye-bye.
So is that one of your 5 daily prayers that you just did?
Wait, how did you know that we need to do that 5 times a day?
What?
I thought everybody knew.
This is not secret.
Yeah.
No, it's
We've been traveling a bit longer, haven't we?
No, it's for druids. That's kind of private, but CD does not really give a shit. He only does it when he needs to.
Sure.
All right. Apparently, you know about druids as well. Anyway, I'm turning into a hawk. I'll be spying on anything that's nearby. Give me a holler if anything happens. And poof, he turns into a hawk and just flies away. Again, the same thing. Mechanical monstrosity that looks more like it's made out of the rubbles of a house than an actual animal.
So a cork hawk.
Take away the inspiration from him.
He's already taken it from me. You have no power over me anymore. That fear is gone.
I would say that he has one more chance before something truly terrible happens.
Anyway,
you will not stop me from making puns.
So, Chase, as you fly up into the sky in order to get a literal bird's eye view of the surrounding environment, go ahead and give me a perception check. I believe as this is going to be a sight-based perception check and you are playing as a hawk, that should infer upon you advantage.
Perception check?
Yes.
Good fucking god, nobody knows what's... privacy these days. Anyway, and a natural 20. Wow.
Excellent. Excellent. So,
Wow.
as you fly up into the sky and you do a quick circle around to get a purview of the surrounding environments, you are immediately able to spot some distance away towards the southwestish, on the coast, and there appears to be a relatively small village of sorts that has apparently sprang up along the outside of this little cove within the sea. As such, you would guess it would probably take you and your party around an hour to arrive there, but it's definitely better than spending another day just simply camping out in the wilderness.
Alright, as that happens, I just. After I see everything nearby, can I just do a quick see if there's any game around?
I would say roll me another perception check.
13th.
You take a look around and you're not able to spot anything at this moment, although you do get the impression that if you were to continue in your hawk form, you may be able to spot something once you get a little closer to the coast.
Alright, I just flutter down. I don't quite land on anywhere. I just, flutter in front of them, and I just caw at them, or whatever sound an eagle makes. And I just fly towards the coast.
I think it's more of a scree than a caw.
Yes, as I said, I don't know what sound an eagle makes. So I just scree at them and then fly up as if telling them to follow me.
This bird also appears cursed. It's reeing at us.
No, we now know he turns into a bird. Yeah, he turned into a hawk.
Yes, Gregory. The bird that he's transformed into is best described as just generic bird of prey number 12.
Oh, and
But,
Gregory.
but
he
made
means
out of
nothing
bits
better
of
than a
wood
computer.
and nonsense.
Yes.
Yes. A kiwi is not a bird of prey.
Yes, a kiwi is definitely not a bird of prey.
I mean, it delicious
It's not even
and
a
tasty.
bird, it's just a fruit.
No, it's definitely a bird. There you go.
Bird fruit?
Yeah.
Fruit bird. I
Yes,
know.
there's
Then
a
what-
bird and
What they do is they
Wow.
cut the head and the legs off, and then you get your kiwi fruit.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yes. It's not a predator society.
Okay, right,
They
Gregory.
almost-
That
almost-
in giant format, yeah, with teeth. Then yeah, sure, okay, you've got something akin to a T-Rex. But that in current format is only dangerous to very, very small bugs.
Well, it depends. Can it do war crimes?
Anyone can do war crimes.
Lovely. Thank you.
Though
Anyway.
only during war times.
Let's continue on to the little
Well, I
town.
don't know. If something's been declared a war crime at a time of war, and then it's not a time of war, and someone goes and does exactly the same thing, is that or is that not still a war crime?
That's just a
That
crime against
is a
humanity.
good question.
Yes.
I think at that point it's just an egregious crime. And it's not by any way influenced by the presence of a war until the war is there.
So there needs to be a war, otherwise it's an egregious crime. Okay.
That sounds convoluted to me.
So it's same, to be honest.
There needs to be a war unless it's just really, really bad and you shouldn't
Yep.
do that again.
Shit. Ignore.
Anyway, as we continue on to the Does the party get what I'm trying to tell them?
Well, I don't know. Does the party get what you're trying to tell?
I
Are
will
we? Are
follow
we? Are
the
we?
bird.
You were watching the bird?
I will follow the bird. If not to follow it, then at least to smite it when it does something wrong.
I still have a bow and arrow, so if it starts charging at us again, I can shoot it down.
So you were going to suggest that? Okay, sure. Let's follow the bird.
Oh,
It's like
I-
you don't know me.
I want to. Let's get out of this forest.
I
Have
know
you found
you,
something?
you got huffy and turned into a bird and fucked off. That's all I know.
I'm literally made out of metal and stone and wood. You can't mistake me for any other bird, quote unquote.
Oh yeah, we know that's you.
So you're just okay. So what I gathered is that you're trying to piss him off. Okay.
No,
Got
no,
it.
I just don't know how far away are you from us?
Like around 20 feet away from you
Okay,
and
yeah,
10 feet higher.
Okay, right, yeah, okay, then I could see something. I was just thinking that, if you're much more than that sort of distance, expecting a
That's just-
person, unless they're with binoculars, to see what a bird does as some sort of signal would be a tad difficult.
I was more suggesting that
thank you.
reeing is not an appropriate means of communication or effective.
You get what I'm trying to say. In fact, the means for communication should be just to relay the message and be done with it. And
Fair.
I just relayed my message and I'm done with it. Now let's go.
So you've gone re, and now you're fucking off. I guess, yeah, cool. Let's follow the re.
Oh, I see that. So, as the party follows the ring weird bird scrap pile that flies through the air somehow, you soon find yourself making your way over a small crest in a small hillock that allows you vision of the village that presumably the flying scrap pile is guiding you towards. It appears as though the village itself is relatively small, maybe consisting of around 30 separate structures from this viewpoint. And as opposed to being dotted into a very circular kind of scenario, is instead spread out along a section of coastline. You can see that the buildings themselves appear to be situated between around a series of marshes that surround the village on all sides, which you can expect may be at least a small issue in attempting to navigate through. In either case, it shouldn't be too difficult to make your way there. That being said, how do you proceed?
As the party just
It's-
notices the village and walks into it,
Can
you can-
the little cobots, can they go with us, or do they need to go outside? Do they
Well-
need to stay outside?
The kobolds are travelling with you, but during the journey, you are informed of the fact that they'll wait for you some distance away from the village. They don't want to cause any trouble.
All right.
Surrounding countryside, is there anything there? Is there any notable features, or is it just the village and generic sort of forest?
Well, as I said earlier, it's the village
Mhm.
with
Coast.
one side being the coastline,
Mhm.
and the other three sides basically just being surrounded on all sides by what appears at a distance to be marshland.
Marshland, that close to the coast. Interesting.
Okay, so it's a bit on stilts, the village, or something?
No, the village itself appears to have been situated in a spot where the ground has a little more stability.
Oh, okay. What do you guys think? Should we just head for the nearest thing of food and beverage?
I think we may need a church or something of the sort to make sure we haven't been cursed by this beast.
That may not be a bad idea.
If there are such things, yes, let's just go for it. But keep an eye out. I mean, on the coast, I'm taking it that we're not seeing cliffs. It is just all low-lying coast. Isn't okay. Then let's make our way in there. Marshes are treacherous, horrendous things to try and navigate through. So let's not go in there. Yeah, let's just pop in there.
Spot, by the way, whilst there is definitely marshlands I have to try and navigate through, there are two potential routes that you could take. There appears to be some kind of road / bridge / kind of mixture of means of traversing this area.
Okay.
However, there also appears as though that if you were to just travel directly down to where the land meets the sea, you could try walking along the beach.
And those are our two choices as the route to get to the village.
Well,
So,
theoretically, you could fly,
okay.
but you'd need to fly to do that.
Okay.
Alternatively, you could swim.
Yeah.
But at that point, you might as well just travel through the marsh.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. Swimming in the sea is far less treacherous than walking through a marsh. But
Perhaps someone could walk ahead with a gentle step and prod the ground first, track us out a decent path.
I hope you're not meaning me.
I was going to say, much as I would normally sort of go for the safe option here, I quite like the idea of the bridge through the marsh.
Yeah, I agree.
That sounds like it's been constructed by people, or so anything that we encounter will be intelligence-driven, if you like, rather than gigantic wave comes along and washes you away. Type sort of mess or quicksand, which I hate that shit.
Can you swim?
I don't know. I could probably swim. Is there a skill for that? Let's have a look. I'm not wearing any heavy armor, so I shouldn't be impeded by.
Generally speaking, swimming is something that you would expect, that you can expect to be able to do by default.
Okay.
All right.
Because I'm
Yeah,
pretty
that's
high
just
acrobatics and good stealth and that type of thing.
Yeah. Let's take the bridge.
Yeah.
I want to lay down somewhere that's not a patch of grass surrounded by rabbit-like beings with tentacles.
I mean, yeah, fair enough. I mean, I suspect between Theo and I, we've got stealth covered. If you want scouts to go ahead, that might not be a terrible idea to have people running ahead. Sneaky manner.
It appears as though 3 of 12 may be joining us.
Perhaps one ahead and one behind, making sure that we've got an early warning on both sides.
Fair enough.
I'm just flying up above, seeing if there's any bird of prey and any prey for me, and keeping an eye on them. Don't worry.
Okay.
Well,
Theo, how's your perception?
My perception. Oh, that's not a perception. That's a greatsword. Let me find my mouse. My perception is not that great. In fact, it is a 7.
Oh dear.
I have advantage because I'm using my eyes.
Sorry, did you say your perception was 7?
2, but a total of 7.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Chase, however, got a 20.
Okay, well, I'm going to roll for perception as well. My perception is at
Well,
3.
Let me just point something out to you all.
Mm-hmm.
As you are traveling down towards the marshes, you do notice that seemingly coming out of almost from nowhere in particular, or perhaps being blown in from the sea, begin to see the surrounding air begin to become less and less visible, with mists rolling in and obscuring your vision beyond around 30 feet.
Oh, bother.
So,
What time of day is it, by the way?
checks. Right now, it's basically the crack of dawn.
I mean, at least we can see a nice sunrise.
I don't know if we've got the time to sit there admiring.
You can definitely see the direction of the sun, and I would say those of you who are currently capable of speaking, make a nature check.
A nature check.
Mm-hmm.
Can I make one just to see what the fuck is happening to them? Or
Well, Grigori, I'm going to say no to that, Chase. Grigori, though, you quickly realize that, mist rolling in from the sea isn't actually all that spooky, at least not from a scientific standpoint, and that chances are this is just a naturally occurring phenomenon, and the mist will be burnt off by the sun in a few hours' time.
Alright, I'll tell the others too. Don't worry. It's just a thing that happens near the sea.
Okay, cool. You say so.
How much travel time do we have left into town?
You would estimate that depending on the difficulty of the terrain, could be an hour, could be 3. Unlikely to be more than that, though.
Okie doke. If it was less time, I had other plans, but that's fine.
Well, in either case, as the party proceeds to make their way through the marshes, you are greeted by an interesting set of terrain. It appears as though this land consists of large numbers of puddles with stretches of land which appear to be relatively steadfast and able to be walked upon with a great degree of confidence. And wherever there does seem to be a stretch of water, that is where a small wooden bridge is made. Several of the bridges seem to be in considerably better repair than others, but you notice that all of them appear to have been crafted with the intention of allowing passage by a horse and cart. As such, they are relatively wide and, at the very least, stable towards the edges.
They look like, you said some were in better repair than other. Do they look like they've been recently maintained, some of them, or do they look abandoned?
About a 50-50, I would say. It looks like, if you had to guess, you would say that they probably have some kind of ongoing maintenance going on here, and that they always concentrate on fixing up the one that is currently the most broken.
So definitely in use then, which means the town's likely to be at least populated.
Well, I'd hope so.
Well, considering Chase was able to see lights coming from this location in the early hours of the morning, either it's recently been burned down, or it's populated.
Do we smell any burning?
do I see anything burning?
Unfortunately, due to the encroaching mists, you're actually not able to see much of anything right now. Unless you fly above said mists, in which case, yes, you can in fact see the town up ahead.
Okay, I do just that. I just fly into the town to make sure that we're not walking into The Walking Dead or something similar.
So you're taking a greatly advanced scouting run for now.
Yes.
Well, we'll cover the results of your little adventure later. For now, as the party begin to continue making their way through the marshlands, I'm going to say, Grace,
Mm-hmm.
me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Dexterity, good lords, that is not a good one for me. Helps if my character sheet doesn't run away from me. There we go. Oh goodness.
Fortunate. Well, as you are crossing over one of the bridges, your foot unfortunately goes straight through one of the planks, having apparently not been replaced for some time, and you find yourself plummeting through the bridge and into the water below.
Can I make an attempt at grabbing her?
Same.
Sure, go ahead and make athletics checks. I would say DC would be, I don't know, 14 for somebody in a suit of heavy armor would be appropriate.
Can I do it in a falling, rolling manner and use an acrobatics check instead?
No, because you're attempting to grab hold of Kiki and support her weight.
Whilst diving and rolling and doing some sort of Jackie Chan kung fu.
Okay, well, if you want, you can roll an acrobatics check and then an athletics check.
Okay, done.
Okay, so you definitely get to Kiki in time. Question is, are you able to support her weight?
Nice.
And the answer is yes. Being able to grab a hold of her and hoist up the weight from her arm just long enough for Kiki herself to be able to grab a hold of the bridge. Through a combination of efforts from Theo, Bruce, and Kiki all working together, you are able to save your paladin friend from taking an early bath.
They really need to put some more work into these bridges. Thank you, guys.
Put her back on her feet, offer her a drink.
Oh, absolutely.
Seems your footing needs to be a bit more relaxed. These bridges are a bit creaky. That might help.
My footing was fine. The bridge simply was not.
Okay.
You just hear the crow just laughing above not the crow, the eagle laughing up above the air.
No, they don't. You're miles away, making your way towards the village for advanced scouting.
Okay, they think they hear it laughing.
Hey.
It's eerily quiet right now, don't you think?
Yeah.
Finally, some quiet, some peace and quiet.
Some squirrels
like
or
it.
some shit over there, but yeah.
All right, assholes. Thank you very much.
Don't tell me what to think.
I can really smell the salt from the sea.
I tell you what, not only are there some squirrels over there, but they look heavily unmolested by the cruel works of foulness.
Our druid.
Is that a playful fox family over there just enjoying themselves?
Murder.
I will commit more war crimes. Don't
I think I
worry.
see a
Their
family
time
of
will
hares uncorrupted by the touches of
Roll-
evil.
Roll me perception checks, the three of you.
come. You get what you deserve.
Fuck.
And you two, Bruce.
Sorry, roll a what? Sorry?
Perception.
Perception.
A perception check. Yep, I'm done.
Fortunately, none of you seem to be able to pinpoint precisely where it is or where the sound is coming from. But Kiki and Grigori, you two are able to quite clearly make out the sound of a small collection of seal pups that are quite clearly squealing and squeaking with delight at being given some food by some, presumably its mother, in a
Aww.
truly adorable and chubby seal fashion.
Aww.
Doesn't their what's it called, tusks self quite well? And
I am
No doubt.
keeping
That's a wall.
I am keeping this information to myself for fear that someone may destroy them should I mention it.
I am going out hunting anyway, so I might notice them anyway.
I'm gonna take out my notebook. Can we see them?
No, unfortunately, you're not able to pinpoint where they are, though you are able to hear the sounds. They're very distinct sounding, these creatures. Mm-hmm.
Shame.
Except the pups themselves make less of an arf sound and more of just a imagine a squeaky toy being given a very long squeak.
Ah, that's adorable.
Yes, they're
But
exceptional.
does their leather sell well?
Well, the leather doesn't sell particularly well, but if you
The
could
meat?
manage to skin the pups, the very dense fur makes for an excellent fur coat, able to sell for a great deal of gold on certain markets.
And the meat?
It is dreadfully unfortunate, however, that you're a bird. You can't see this due to the cover of mist, are too far away to be able to hear it, and are currently flying away towards a village.
Alright, well, anyway, I'm gonna be out hunting again later on. You did say that I should scout that area.
We're not running off and clubbing seals mid-mission for a bit of extra cash. No,
It's a lot of
seals.
cash.
Seals. No, seals are
It's a lot
nice.
of cash, though.
No,
Pissing
no.
in a barrel in front of dwarfs, one thing, but murdering a whole seal family, that's
You're an
one
elf. You
step
don't
too
give
far.
a shit about anything that doesn't have sharp ears.
Look, seals are nice and cute. Creating a mythos with the dwarves that there is a wandering monk that pisses wine is important work.
Okay, look, I'm not clubbing the seals right now. Let's just carry on.
I mean, if we're going to make shoes and a nice sort of pair of, a nice jacket or something out of them, but for wearing, for using for yourself, not for selling off. Like,
Alright, I'll club the seal for you. Now let's carry on.
cool seal shoes.
So, I would say after another hour and a half or so of struggling to make your way through the marshes, occasionally having to stop and give particularly unsafe bridge sections a wide berth, you're eventually able to make your way over to an oddly uphill section where you soon find yourself arriving at what's best described not as a front gate, but as a front opening to where there is a village ahead of you. And unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be any kind of signage as to what this place may be called, but those of you who are able to speak common do spot that there is a small sign that just simply says, "Welcome." It looks like it maybe hasn't been cleaned in a while, however, as you can see that there's the quite distinct look of moss having grown on it.
Is there like
Sorry, okay. So there it is, lying all unattended in the wilderness, basically. It's got a welcome sign there, but even though its front opening is unguarded, it's got moss on it. I don't know, guys.
is there
I've done worse, but shall we head in
sounds,
through that front opening?
is there any sign of population in that?
I mean, is there a back opening? Is that cleaner than the moss-covered front opening?
Where is Chase at this point?
Where am I at this point? I noticed a distinct lack of a certain eagle flying around.
At this point, Chase, you have managed to make your way towards this village in considerably faster time than the rest of your party did. Having arrived and made a quick scouting journey around the various structures within. You're able to see that this is quite clearly some kind of fishing-based economy, with there being a variety of small dinghies and fishing vessels capable of navigating through the still somewhat marshy, but now cleared up somewhat, mixture of land and water. You can see that there does appear to be some kind of bar or tavern, or at the very least a public house of some kind that has a sign hanging above it, simply labelled the Mossy Cobble.
I wouldn't know.
I'm pretty sure even as an eagle you have the ability to read common.
But I don't have the ability to read common.
Ah, you're illiterate. Good
Yes.
to know. In that case, the rest of the party will have to find out the name of the Mossy Cobble. In either case, you are also able to find another noteworthy building, that being a somewhat slightly more impressive looking structure than all of the others, that after a brief bit of investigation, which consists of landing in an open window, appears to be some form of rustic chapel of sorts. In either case, a house of holiness that you may be able to seek advice for the unpleasant thing that has been apparently stalking your party. That being
Interesting.
said, would you prefer to go and meet up back with the party as they're travelling through the moss, or would you rather just stay here and wait for them, have a spot of time to relax?
The tavern building that I don't know the name of, but I know where it is. Can I just go into there as a human?
Absolutely, you can. Yes.
All right. I just find an alleyway or some obscure area where there is nobody to look. I just transform there back into human, and I walk back towards the tavern.
And given that there's still a degree of mistiness in the area, it really isn't hard at all for you to be able to find a spot where you can transform without being subject to prying eyes.
Yes.
But that being said, we'll finish off that and move back towards the rest of the party for now.
But just one question. Did I see any valuables?
Where?
In the houses that I just scanned? In any open windows, etc.
I would say you didn't manage to find any valuables in any windows because you wouldn't. I would say unless you specifically went around open windows, landing on said windowsills, using your junk-style wings to open said shutters and then peer inside. Unless you did that for several different locations, I'm going to say no.
All right, fair enough. I just land as a human and go into the tavern, whatever it's called.
Might I make a recommendation, Chase?
Yes.
Stop being such a loot goblin.
That's literally me. Okay, anyway, I'll stop.
When we play role-playing games, it's so that we can try.
I know. I'm sorry.
Father, there's a goblin in the church.
Shut up. Don't make me laugh out loud. I'm gonna stop now. I'm human in the tavern.
All right. Think about what you would do once entering said tavern, but for now we will cover what the rest of the party does upon arriving in town. So, you have arrived in the town. There doesn't seem to be much in the way of paved roads, aside from a single causeway which seems to make its way along the length of the town. You get the impression that this is something that has been built for the express purposes of tying boats to, but not really for traversing. There's a bit of mud in the area, mostly come from settling mist coming in from the seas, but for the most part, it's easy enough to get around here. Oddly enough, you don't see any other people walking around themselves. It looks as though there's a relative lack of activity here.
I'm going to seek some kind of holy site. Can we see that church?
Yeah, I'm coming with.
I would say you'd have to make an investigation check to be able to find the church.
Let's do an
Right,
investigation of the village.
Can I help? Grace in her investigation?
Nope. You can
I
make your
can't.
own separate investigation check, though.
Yep.
All right.
I have, and I'm no.
Well, I would say that whilst attempting to find the church, Groose ends up being the first person to find the public house. But Kiki and Grigori do end up filtering off in the same general direction and end up finding said a holy building. To call
Groose
it
found
church,
his church.
Yeah.
Yes. Groose found his church, whereas you found a church. Well, to call it a church is a vast overstatement of the sophistication of this building.
Is it more a chapel or something?
Yes, this is much closer to a chapel than anything else.
It occurs to me that all the information I seek will be housed within the pub, because pubs are a wealth of common knowledge and so on. Because people from the local area congregate there and drink and have lips and talk and etc. So I'm going to go into the pub, because that's probably the fastest way for me to find the church and anything else, and it's probably a nice place to have a chat and a drink. So I'm going to go in and go to the bar.
Well, what should we cover first? Should we cover Seedy and Groose in the pub, or should we cover Grigori and Grace in the church?
Oh, definitely Grigori and Grace.
Yep, let them have some spotlight. I've been hugging it a bit too much.
Trig
That's
just
okay.
wants to go and have a piss, that's all.
I do now.
Well,
Yeah, sure. Kiki and I can go first.
Yeah, why not?
as the pair of you make your way over to the building, you see that there does appear to be a large double door of sorts, where you can see that should the church be open, you would be able to make your way in. But I would say, Grace, you would know well enough that typically in establishments like these, if the door isn't explicitly open for you to walk in at your own volition, it's usually best to knock.
Yeah, I shall give a loud and authoritative knock.
Nice. So you bash on the door a few times with a closed fist and wait for a moment. And after a few seconds, you hear the distinctive noises of an old man making his way over. You can hear the distinctive as he makes his way towards the door. But soon afterwards, you see the door swing open and you see a diminutive figure in front of you. You'd guess him to be somewhere in the realms of 5'2" and quite clearly within the latter quarter of his lifespan. The man is almost hunched over with age, and you get the impression that he probably doesn't do a terribly good job at maintaining the building, just due to a simple lack of ability from old age. He looks up at the pair of you with a pair of oversized spectacles over his eyes, blinking as he goes, and says, "Hello! Why are you here?"
Good sir, is there a cleric in the house? We have dire need.
Yes, that would be me. What can I help you? Come in, come in. And he gestures forward and begins stepping inside the structure.
Is there a doormat?
There is, although it itself also appears to have some degree of mold growing on it.
I'll at least clean the majority of the mud off my boots before I step in.
I'll do the same, and I thank him for inviting.
Well, he nods in appreciation of the thanking and says, "Oh, it's not a problem.
Apologies for coming in at such an early hour.
No, I was up long ago. What can I help you with? My name is Gregory, by the way."
Ah, Grace and Grigori.
Oh, what a nice coincidence, Father.
Yes, quite. He offers out his hand to shake it with one of you.
I shall shake with strength and delicacy.
Well, you see as you effectively begin to whip his arm around like a chain. But because you mentioned delicacy, I won't inflict any crushing damage on the poor man's hand.
It's we appear to have afflicted ourselves with some manner of demonic curse.
Oh, was that right?
I nod.
What's the exact nature of the affliction?
We appear to be being stalked by some form of demonic entity.
It takes, from what we could have seen, it takes the form of a shadow with two flickering white lights in a place where there usually is a pair of eyes.
I see. I don't see. I hope. It's not here now, is it?
No,
We hope not.
Is it here now? I
It's-
look at Grace.
I'm gonna burn a divine sense. Is it here now?
As you activate your divine sense to get a lay of the area, you don't seem to be picking up on anything particularly malicious. Although, interestingly enough, you do get the you are able to sense that this place is actually sacrosanct. It has at some point in its past been blessed in some way, and apparently has not been defiled since. So there is a noteworthy degree of holiness to this building. So you are in a genuine holy house.
This creature, whatever it may be, this demon that seems to be stalking us, it appears to have potent powers of possession.
I nod.
Oh.
Okay. A small hair that
Like,
traveled in our direction appears to have been corrupted by its presence and gained the power to breathe fire.
wait, when you say hair, do you mean the kind of thing with the long floppy ears, or are you? And
Yes, Father.
He just pulls out a hair from his chin. Okay.
No, Father, we mean the floppy one.
The one with the floppy, okay. So, a creature with black eyes.
White
White eyes. White
Where-
flickering flames for eyes.
Okay, where did the black come into it then?
Its form looked like a shadow.
Oh, okay. So, a big black blobby shadow with two white flickering eyes. Were they like blinking a lot, or?
Like candlelight.
Oh, I see. Like candlelight, okay. I'm just trying to think. Give me a moment. You see as he gets up out of one of the pews at which he's sitting, and begins to make his way over to another doorway, which apparently leads to some other chamber within the chapel.
I look over to Grace and whisper, no. I tell her in a sort of lower voice, should we tell him about the knife?
I think so. Do you have it with you?
Yes, of course I have it with me. I'm not
I
going
think-
to let that gypsy touch it again.
We need to make sure we keep it with us, though. And we also need to ensure that if this man can, that we can receive some kind of protective blessing against whatever evils this thing is manifesting.
After around this moment, you hear the man calling from the back as he says, "Could one of you come over here and give me a hand?"
Of course, Father.
Yes, Father.
Sure.
As the pair of you make your way up to the one of the back rooms where the noise is coming from, you see that he has apparently attempted to reach for a book that is ever so slightly too large and ever so slightly too high up for him, and he's now kind of trying to not be crushed by this very large tome.
I shall assist him in carrying it.
If you actually pick the book up off the shelf, which with your height you'd be able to easily do compared to him.
I shall do so.
Right. He looks at you and gives an exasperated thank you before following you out and saying, "Just put the book onto the lectern over there, if you could."
Certainly.
I appreciate that. And you see as he pulls over a stool to stand on and then gets the necessary height and begins looking through the various pages of the book. And if you take a look yourself, you'll spot that this appears to be some kind of cross between a holy text and some kind of cross between a holy text and a bestiary, with being a variety of entities that take various ghastly forms, some demonic in nature, others of a more devil-like form.
Good Lord's Father, what manner of heresy is this tome?
Heresy? This is a tome on how to expunge evil. What kind of house do you think this is? In fact, do you even know whose god you stand in the presence of?
I'm afraid I
Goodbye.
don't, Father.
Oh, well, apparently not. This is a church to the Goddess of Prydania. Do you know that name, or should I give you some more information?
Is she the goddess of the sea by chance?
Yes, she's she watches over those who brave the seas and helps stop them from being swallowed up by the evils of Charybdis. That's how the legend goes.
Is she the one that dances? And I do the dance that we had at the statue, sort of that, like this.
Well, that's quite limber of you, but there's only one legend that I'm aware of where she did a dance to do something or other. Something about a storm of some kind. I don't know. It's been a long time since I reminded myself of that. But yes, I think she has done something to that effect at some point. Anyway, let's get back on to the reason you came here. So this is a...
One sec, I'll be back in a second.
What was it that you were looking for again?
A black creature with eyes that flicker like candlelight.
Oh, yes, okay. And he continues leafing through the book in silence before eventually you can see a very overly exaggerated frowning position begins to settle over his face as he looks at you, Grace, and to Grigori as well, and says, "Well, I have some idea as to what this thing may be, but I don't think you're going to like it."
Enlighten us, Father.
Okay. And he gives you a hand gesture to come over, and he... By the way, I can hear a lot of background noise coming from you there, Kiki.
I'm not sure why. I'm going to mute myself.
Right, okay. Remember to unmute yourself if you want to speak, though.
Oh, absolutely.
He gestures you to come over, and when you do, he points to a particular passage, and this passage, I'm not going to read it out word for word because I haven't written it yet, but he basically points out this description of a malicious spirit that forms attachments to items of a particular nature and value. These spirits, they kind of, in lieu of being able to move on to the next life or being able to abandon their earthly bonds upon death, become cursed to basically wander the world and find things of innate inherent value to be able to bind themselves to. And if such a creature binds itself to an item for long enough, then it will end up basically haunting it and cursing whoever attempts to take said item for their own purposes. And it also gives a brief description of a pair of burning coal-like eyes whose intensity grows brighter and brighter with an ever-increasing connection to an increasing level of envy of the item that they've bound themselves to. And well, the creature itself, it's only mentioned towards the end of the passage that it is known as a weapon wight.
Father, do you know a way of quelling such a beast or slaying it?
Oh, well, if I had to, it doesn't really say, does it? Well, when it comes to these things, there's usually a couple of ways of going about it. Spyro, could you mute yourself? Thank you. There's usually a couple of ways of going about it. I could try. Do you have the item? Presumably, it's chasing you because you've taken what it values.
I'm afraid we do, and I show him the blade. And I take it out of its sheath. Was it in a sheath or was it without a sheath?
It was without a sheath.
Ooh.
Did you say a weapon wight?
Uh-huh.
Yes, he did.
A wight.
I show him the dagger, and I tell him, "Be very careful. The edge is unbelievably sharp, Father."
Give me just a moment. Keep hold of that for just a second. And you see as he makes his way back into the back room again, and this time pulls out an even thicker pair of wide-brimmed glasses and has them attached to the front of his face as he makes his way over and puts a hand out to allow you to hand him the dagger.
Again, Father, please be careful. And I,
Yes, I'll make sure to avoid cutting myself. Thank you for the warning.
Or the church. I mean the chapel.
Okay. You get the impression he thought you were maybe joking with that last line. Well, let's see what I can. Oh, that's shiny. Oh my. I haven't seen anything this shiny since my nephew polished a coin for a week. That's quite impressive. How often do you wax this?
I'm afraid, Father, that it hasn't been waxed in a long, long time. This its natural state.
Oh, well, I can see why the spirit was bound to it. Then this is, well, it looks valuable. You said it was sharp.
Yes, Father.
Mind if I try it?
Go right ahead.
And you see as he
Please watch out.
you see as he takes the dagger and he very slowly uses it to shave some of his beard off. And then, after the hairs fall, he looks at it again and says, "Oh, you weren't kidding, this is sharp. I can think of a few barbers who would kill to have something like this." Whew.
Perhaps they would also be killed for having something like that, considering the affliction it bears.
I
That's
have
right.
this feeling that they won't be successful barbers with this one.
Yes, quite. What's this dark side to the blade? This almost feels like it's made of glass. Why does it move? It's weird. Is this some kind of gem, do you think?
It appears to be enchanted, though by no enchantment that we can identify.
It obviously has some kind of magic to it. He holds it up to the light coming in through one of the windows and says, "Oh, no, it's not. It doesn't seem to catch the light very well on this dark side, does it? There's something very weird going on with this knife.
This beast that seeks it, you mentioned there may be a couple of ways.
Yes. So, you mentioned that this is come from a place that's you think that this is the thing that it's bound itself to. Is that right?
From what I understood, our group found this knife in a chest, and as soon as one of my colleagues took it in his hand, the whole area, this whole surrounding area, heard a banging of glass coming from every direction. It felt like.
What, like someone breaking a window or something?
Every window. Yes.
Oh.
And once they told me about that and showed me the knife, I went back and found the weapon white.
Yes, that's what the text said it was. Well, let me... okay, so I can think of a couple of ideas that may be able to help you, but, well, the first one you're probably not going to like it very well, and that is next time you see it or it gets too close, or, once next time it decides to come and do the haunting thing, just throw the knife at it and takes it and leaves you alone. That's one option, although, well, at that point you might just be giving a very angry spirit a very sharp weapon to kill you with. It's a bit of a risky maneuver.
Yeah, I believe that is not an option, Father.
The next thing I can think of would be to try and exorcise the creature. You know what I mean when I say exercise, right?
Of course, Father. It must be banished.
That is removing or banishing said creature?
Go for a jog.
Yes.
Push
To an
ups.
extent, when you exercise a malicious spirit, what you're doing is you're effectively, when people die, or when a thing dies, it has a spirit that goes off to its next life. Sometimes it might get reincarnated as a thing. And other times it might go to a special place, another realm. Like some of the gods have places where people go to spend an eternity worshipping them. I'm personally not a fond of that idea. It's one of the reasons why I'm with Prydania. She just says, when you die, you get to sail the seas for as long as you like. It's quite nice, really. But yes, getting back on topic. When you exorcise a creature, it's not that you're banishing it or killing it or anything like that. What you're actually doing is you're kind of encouraging it to move on by force, if you know what I mean.
I think I understand what you mean, Father.
Is there anything we would need for this? Some kind of ritual or artifact? In fact, could we get a copy of the specific page speaking of this piece?
I could transcribe it.
You've been perfectly pleasant. I would say for a small donation to the church, that would free me up enough time to be able to sit here and watch over you as you transcribe the page. Do you think you'd be willing to do that?
Of course, Father.
Yeah, of course.
Perhaps a gold coin for the collection basket.
Oh heavens, that's far too much. I was only expecting half that at most. If that's what you feel like, though, that's I won't say no.
Father, that is what this is worth to us.
Oh well,
Why not?
so.
I'm gonna give 11.
You drop 11 gold coins.
Yes.
Good lords.
This knife is worth it.
Well, you drop as you reach into your coin pouch and
I'll try to make it very discreet so he doesn't notice.
Okay, well, if you're making it discreet, I would say make a sleight of hand check. Congratulations, he's none the wiser. You would pretty much have had to have rolled a natural 1 for him to not notice. He's not the most perceptive.
Yeah, the natural one would probably just smashing gold coins on the floor.
No, the natural one would be you attempt to pull out your coins, but you end up getting your hand stuck, and by freeing it, you end up pouring 50-something gold pieces across the floor. That might catch his attention. But, yeah.
He's not a rabbi, he's a priest.
As you go to make this small donation of a couple silver pieces, as far as he knows, you he as you come back over, he's smiling in your direction, and he says, "Right, well, if you're going to transcribe the page, then I'd be happy to make sure that you do so with all of the right stuff. I'll let me go get you some paper and a pen so that you can make your own notes." And he gets up and begins making his way back over to the back room again.
All right, I'll just wait.
Yes. A few moments later, he comes back in, this time carrying a decent-sized piece of parchment, as well as a quill with a small jar of ink, and hands them over to you and says, "I'm guessing that you know how to do this."
Yes, Father, I can read and write.
Good. I was hoping you would say that. My hand isn't as steady as what it once was. Whilst your friend here does the... Oh, heavens, I've just realized I have no idea what your names are. How awful of me. I'm sorry. What are your names?
Once again, we are Grace and not Grace. We are Grace and Grigori.
Yes.
Oh.
Her name is the paladin here is named Grace, and my name is Gregory.
Oh, now that you say that, I'm feeling like I might have asked you that once before. I'm sorry.
Worry not, good father. Perhaps while we are here, we have a number in our party, 5 in fact, I believe. And with this thing chasing us, perhaps we could receive some form of blessing or right of protection before we make our way. We intend to stay the night.
Well, I might be able to do something, but I'm afraid blessings of Prydania protect you from the evils of the sea, well, I could try giving them to you, but I don't think it'll help much for something chasing you down because you stole its pretty knife. So, that being said, I do have one idea. Let me just go fetch something. And he walks off, and this time goes into a different back room, and comes back out again, and this time is carrying an approximately 1 foot long box of sorts. It looks like it's relatively shoebox shaped, and when he arrives back with the rest of you, he opens up the lid after planting it onto the lectern and says, "Here, take this." And he hands you what looks suspiciously like a stick of dynamite.
I shall take it with pride. Thank you, Father. I'm sure this will come in very useful.
This, yes, well, it should come in handy. This is an incense stick. Plant this into the ground and light it up, and I would say for the next 10 minutes or so, it'll give off this intense and powerful smoke. The odor that's, any malevolent spirit that attempts to accost you when exposed to the smoke will, they won't have a good time of it. Let's just put it that way. But yes, it's this is don't let it get in your eyes if possible. It's not very good.
Thank you.
Maybe rest in your church tonight, just to ensure we're not hunted by this thing.
Certainly, it's the least I could do for someone such as yourselves. You mentioned that you had some more friends making their way over here.
Indeed, perhaps we may need to collect them. They appear to have drifted off, possibly towards a drinking house.
Yes, the mossy cobble. I've been there a couple times myself in the last year or two, and well, it's hard to complain when it's the only place in town.
As
But
it
anyway.
usually is.
I'm sorry, what were your names again?
My name was Grigore, and hers was Grace.
Right. My name is Gregory, by the way. It's a shame to hear about that, 3. Have a nice day, sleep, whatever it is that you're up to.
I thank you for your time, Father. I shall leave you here with Grigori to scribe this and retrieve the others once they've finished their drinks.
Right, okay. If you're going to be going over there, ask the barman if he will if you spare me one of his bottles of wine. We need it for rituals and such.
Certainly. I'll give him a wink as I leave.
Make an insight check, Chris.
Yeah,
This is-
I was
this-
just going to say that one.
This is absolutely being used only for the rites and consecrations of the church and definitely not to feed his alcoholism.
Absolutely. You can believe whatever you damn well please, because unfortunately, with a natural one, apparently this man is a master of double entendre and hidden meaning.
Not even a thief's cant or a druid language.
Hmm. But that being said, Theo, go ahead and give me an insight check.
An insight.
You can quite easily tell that, yes, he will be intending to drink some of this, but you also get the impression that he wasn't entirely lying about using it for rituals.
No, I believe him. I didn't have to roll for that.
Hmm.
He doesn't sound. He doesn't feel like he's hiding anything.
Hmm. Well, anyway, Grace, as you leave Theo to transcribe the page in the book, which, by the way, I will get typed up for you and send off to you, Theo, after the session's sorted, or maybe even during the break that we'll be taking soon.
Oh, take your time. It's not a big deal.
In fact, that being said, what's everybody's thoughts on taking a 15 minutes or so break, like now?
Yeah.
Quite
So
nice.
I want to compile. I want to compile what my character is going to drunkenly talk with Bruce about.
Sure.
Alright, sounds like a plan.
Yeah, because the time in the wilderness has been hitting him hard.
Oh no.
Oh, Bowsy, that's sad.
That's sad, yeah. Anyway,
Yes.
let me just prepare something to. For fuck's sake, the cat is playing with the mouse. Fuck off. Let me prepare something to eat. Bye bye. I'll see you in just a
Alright.
minute.
See you in
Cool.
a bit.
Good time to go and grab a drink, grab a snack.
Mm-hmm. By the way, Ginger, you do a very, very good old monk/priest voice.
Oh, thank you. It's mostly just my
Okay, I will leave the mics open, but just remember we're all on open mics.
yes.
Hello, Susan.
And during this time, by the way, anybody who wants to speak, feel free to do so. But I myself am going to be popping away for a bit.
Well, I am away from the keyboard, but I can still hear and respond.
Oh, he's silent here. No, he's not. Ah, Bill, you disappoint me. Oh, you mean that kind of... I mean, you can ask Wesk himself. Oh yeah, this is all coming on stream. Hello, White.
Yes, you were on stream. Sorry, I was muted because I was making coffee and talking stuff. I'll be back in a moment.
Alright, no problem. I'm gonna get some snacks. I'll be back in a bit. No, Raja. Oh, yes, everything did go silent.
I'm back.
I will be back in just 2 minutes. I have a cat that needs cut off.
How is the little pussy doing?
Then little is the wrong word now. He is now officially
Oh no.
a gigantic chungus of a cat.
Have you been feeding him too much?
No, I haven't been feeding him too much. He's just growing like crazy. He's yeah, he's twice the size he was 5 weeks ago.
Show us the cat pics.
Well,
Give us the cat.
I will show you a cat pic in a minute. Back at my. Currently delivering the ear scratches. Shall endeavour to move on to a tummy scratch. That can be achieved safely. Singing on.
I should probably also check your Twitter more often.
It's been I've not been using Twitter for the last couple of weeks. I've basically been offline almost.
Honestly, not a bad habit.
Yeah.
Probably good. Every time I'm on Twitter or I'm just checking it, maybe once a week or something, it's just disappointment.
Yeah.
By and large,
Hey, guys.
it's just crap news, but plus crap news, plus more crap news.
Hey,
I haven't logged onto Facebook in over a year, and I have never even owned a Twitter account.
You had a Facebook? Wait, you had a Facebook?
Yes, had.
Well, I never had, so I'm better than you.
Did you get suspended?
No, I just simply could not, for the life of me, be arsed logging into it.
Yeah.
Understandable.
I
I
had to
do it
make
maybe-
one to go in when I started college. I made it and then basically didn't use it for anything.
Yeah, I have one that maybe once in 5 years I put a picture on. And other than that, it's just, oh, hey, this person sounds familiar. Let me find if I have any friends with them, or let me find what their name is. That's usually what I use LinkedIn and Facebook for. Other than that, I don't want to open those things because it's just so much stuff that they can get out of everything.
Yep.
To be a tiny tinfoil hat here.
No,
I tried to use
you're
it to
right.
keep up with some people, but it didn't work out. Everybody I
I'll be
went to high
honest.
school with is woke now.
Yeah, our own version of woke is happening in here right now.
Jihad.
Did I tell you the story about the guy that was beaten in my college? My really super progressive college?
The one for being gay? Or
Yes.
the one with the girls trying to use a plastic bottle as the thing.
Yes, that one is from my high school.
Oh,
Yeah.
the high school.
Yeah. The girl one is from the high school. Okay, basically what there was this faggot.
No. You mean this fig?
This fig.
Bundle of sticks.
This bundle
Yes.
of sticks.
Yes.
Meatball.
Can we
This is
stop
like-
with the gay euphemisms? I don't want to learn any more of them.
No, that's not
Virgin.
gay euphemisms. Those are euphemisms for the word.
Wait,
Virgin.
that's like the
Virgin
American
bundle of
Dad
sticks.
meme.
Virgin
It's-
bundle of sticks.
I just want to point out something that's quite entertaining about the word faggot, by the way. So, faggot simultaneously means effeminate gay man. It also means a bundle of sticks. But you know what else is a bundle of sticks?
What else is a bundle of sticks?
Fascism?
Yes.
No.
Fascism.
Mhm.
No. A bundle of sticks with an axe in it.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
a violent gay man.
No.
So
There's
all
no.
gays are fascists?
There,
It's
no.
called a fascist.
Exactly, it's a fascist.
I would expect you to know that, Spyro.
Guys, can we
Coincidence? I think
can we
not.
not suddenly start having an open discussion about fascism and the merits of that and faggotry at the same time? Whilst on
Look,
my YouTube channel.
Look, all I'm saying,
I'm just-
Talk about that all the time with your democratization streams.
all I'm saying
Yeah,
is,
I know, but
all I'm gonna say is that
Oh, so
a
you're national
faggot.
socialist. Gotcha.
Shut up, fanboy. All I'm saying is that a faggot is a virgin bundle of sticks, and a fascist is a Chad bundle of sticks.
No,
Yes.
Nah, they're all just faggots to me.
no. Yeah, fascists are fags.
Takes one to know one.
goddamn meatballs, a lot of you. Right, okay.
Well, I do know some fags. Talk to them right now.
Are you just going to take that, Spyro?
Unlike a faggot, I'm not going to rise to the occasion.
Oh!
Oh, touche!
Okay, right.
That's quite good, actually.
Alright, fun was had by all.
Bravo, good sir.
So Ginge, I'm just going to roll 1d4 for the topics I'm going to talk about with Groose about in the tavern. Yes?
And the
All
top
right.
six
What-
is
what
just
was each?
it's just the order of them, right?
Yes.
What are the different results actually?
All right. One is going to be talking about his childhood in Urlegberg.
All right.
Two is going to be about his connection to nature and how it's fucked. Three, it's about how he fails as a person in the current society because he is illiterate. He can only understand the common language and just simply talk to people, nothing else. And as such, he in the current in the way that the world is working right now, since he has 18 for wisdom, he kind of understands how the world is going through right now. He feels like he's being left behind, despite knowing how the world is going to be turned. And four, he's going to be talking about his love life, which is a whole nother fucking topic entirely.
Well, alrighty then. So, before we get to that,
All right.
I'm just going to do a bit of a retcon and say that both Groose and CD arrived in the tavern at basically the exact same time. That being said,
Okay.
as the pair of you walk into the tavern, you are greeted by a large and burly man with a great shock of black hair that seems to go down to his shoulders, as well as an impressive black beard, all whilst giving him the approximate look of a dwarf, whilst quite clearly having the height of a human. In either case, as you walk in, he sees the door open and he greets you with a great jolly smile as he says, "Welcome to the Mossy Cobble. It's the best ale house in the whole of Flotsam. What can I get for you?"
Well, an ale sounds like a splendid idea. Unless you have something you would recommend, good sir.
Well, from the looks of you, I'm gonna guess that the pair of you are the newcomers to the town. So how about you know what? Ale sounds fine.
Yeah, we sort of stumbled across the place almost. Oh, literally, Grace did. She nearly felt like came a cropper on that bridge. But yeah,
No, you didn't use the bridges, did you?
yeah. That looked interesting, like someone made it. It might be used as a pathway or something. But no, it's a bit of a death trap,
those
isn't it?
things. Yeah, those things get hardly used. If you want to come here, you're best going in from the going across the beach.
Ah, right, yeah. Well, I did think that looked boring.
Nah, well, I suppose if you're the more adventurous types, then you'd be better off coming in through the marshes. At least that way, you're likely to have a bit of an interesting trip, shall they say? Anyway, and he plonks two mugs of ale down in front of the pair of you and says, "That'll be a silver for the pair of them."
Done. CD pulls out the silver and just flips it out to him.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Oh, good.
Well, you're the first people to come in this morning, so feel free to take a seat. And as you look around, you do see that there is a severe lack of patrons within the bar. You get the impression that the still relatively early morning isn't the most popular time for a place like this.
So, Bruce, how you been doing? He says, obviously trying to fish for small talk.
I'm doing pretty good. Bit early in the morning. Could do with a bit of breakfast. But yeah, it's nice. Glad we didn't all die from that bunny, because I'm not going to look at a rabbit or a hare the same way again.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'll bring you a rabbit's foot when I hunt one.
When you hump one. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Cool. Thank you. I think.
CD just starts chugging it full. The air.
Cool. I'm gonna signal over to the barkeeper and go, "Do you have any food, sir? It seems like a good time for a breakfast."
Yeah, he thinks for a moment and then looks over at you and with a thumbs up says, see what I can rustle up. Anything in particular that you fancy?
I don't know. Bacon, eggs, that type of thing? Something hearty?
Sounds good. I'll have some myself. And he, you see as he pops round into some back room. A few minutes go by and you begin to hear the faint sound of what could either be potentially sizzling bacon or maybe it started raining outside. You can't quite tell.
Ah, yes, bacon smelling rain.
You hear squeak from behind CD's back. Shit. Do you have any cheese or something small?
He's already gone round the back. You'd have to go over and ask directly.
Shit. Eat a ration. He just turns the 2 to eat a full fucking ration. And the carrot as well, yeah, the carrot.
Good choice. So, as the pair of you are sat there, the rat eats the stolen carrot and the ration, and the pair of you just drink down what is best described as an extremely hearty beer. It's practically it's. Have you ever had Guinness, Chase?
No.
Right. Okay. Imagine a very, very thick soup, except it's not soup, it's a beer.
So soup that gets you drunk. Nice.
Yes.
Yes.
It's like drinking bread.
Very much so. I mean, Guinness, you can actually sustain yourself off. There's enough calories and other stuff in Guinness to actually live off it. I mean, it's not going to be a good life. I mean, but island managers.
It's gonna be a good life. Don't worry. But yeah, I understand. By the way, really dumb question, Ginge. I respect you, but I'm a Middle Eastern. I kind of can't have beer.
Yeah, but I'd figured that at least some point in the sinful life of you and your family that you may have had some kind of alcohol.
Oh no, Yeah, I'm not even allowed near a fucking place like that.
Fair enough. Okay.
Anyway, yeah, a shame. You're gonna have to fix that when I come visit someday.
Well, in that case, let me describe to you Guinness in the best way I can possibly manage.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine a milkshake, but instead of having the flavor of milk, have you had a milkshake before?
Yes, of course.
Okay, good. Okay. So imagine a milkshake in terms of the overall texture and consistency, but in terms of flavor, imagine it to almost taste like a somewhat sour, very flavorful bread-like flavor.
Okay. Mm.
That is approximately what you and Bruce are drinking right now.
Oh, nice.
Explain if you haven't had beer before.
Yeah, it's
Josh fanboy.
It's a sad fact.
Mm.
But regardless, it doesn't get you drunk quickly, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Hmm.
Think liquid bread.
Yes, we
Yeah,
said that already.
I figured it out. All right, I just sip on my ale slowly and surely, and just sitting there in silence. After the initial small talk, I'm just sitting there contemplating, thinking. Bruce can invite me to talk about whatever he wants.
Fair enough.
Just
So
get me drunk.
So that turning into a bird thing. That's
Mhm.
that's kind of interesting. Kind of always fancied flying. Looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
What? Why the sort of barrels and scrapyard appearance though? It doesn't seem like you've you've mastered that properly. Most people I've seen that have been able to do that type of thing, and it's rare. They usually look like the bear that they're turned into, rather than.
Yeah, they probably are dressed in all greens, and they only eat green, and they don't even touch animals.
Yeah. They're odd folk, but they know their intoxicating fluids
Yeah.
and mushrooms, etc. They can be fun at a party.
Yeah, they do. You know that we used to actually. You noticed the we in here. We used to actually make this alcohol by stuffing berries inside of hollow trees. Sometimes it gets lucky and it ferments, and what appears out is this. You can get drunk by smelling the goddamn thing.
You can put berries into the side of a tree, and you'll get extremely powerful alcohol out of it.
Yes, special trees in the fucking forest, the giant forest. And there, you just put berries and other fruits in there, and oh, bloody hell,
So okay, right.
that stuff smells.
Let me get
Like
this
it
straight.
is
You got a tree. You basically squash fruits into the side of the tree, and
Yeah.
then out the bottom of the tree, you get really, really strong alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
How quickly does it take for the fruit to turn into the alcohol? I mean, is it like I can walk up to it, squash a couple of apples in, and get a pint of cider out of the bottom?
Oh no, not apples. Nothing homegrown. It doesn't really work with them. It only works with wild stuff like wild berries, etc.
Okay.
But
Okay, some
it
blackberries,
takes
some raspberries, some elderberries and stuff. Yeah, whack them in.
yeah, but it takes years for the stuff to properly settle.
Oh god.
But when it bloody comes out, it's. Ugh. I'm telling you, I genuinely got drunk from that goddamn smell of it.
Wild.
We used to mark them, you know. Well, not mark the actual trees. We've never heard of them. We used to mark the trees by the flowers around them,
Okay.
and like it was magnificent. I miss my family. God damn it.
So right, they get the trees, they mark them with flowers, and those trees are set up and ready in brewing stuff, or they're being collected, or
For years, some stay for 100 years, man.
describe these clearings and these markings for me, so that I will look out for them.
I
if I
see
them.
I see what you're trying to do. No, you ain't gonna get near that one
I'm.
unless you're actually friends with a druid.
Are we not friends?
Am I a druid?
Well, that's all
No,
the question.
really. He just starts being serious all of a sudden. Tell me, am I an actual druid?
You exhibit a number of similarities, but not the meat eating. Yeah, there's yeah. You're not
There's
exactly.
a meat eating, the fact that I'm not turning into an actual animal, but
Dude,
around
am I a monk? Do I sit there mumbling about things and beating myself with whatever and generally being miserable all the time? People are people. What are the labels that they stick on themselves? The like sort of monk and these things are they don't take into account the personality that is there. They just denote what an interest and whether
But
what
you see,
makes them is.
it's different with us. You see, like you can still go back to your monastery tomorrow, can't you? You can still go back and tell them.
No, probably not. Yeah, do you remember the wine that I had on the cart when I first met you guys?
I remember the one. I remember telling me that you had wine in your cart. Yes.
Yeah, we had a cart for some barrels in it. Yeah, and we all had the drinking. Well, that was essentially given to me as a task / here you go, take some wine and go, out into the wild world and seek your fortune. Essentially, prosper elsewhere. By the monastery. Go forth and make what you will of your life with this wine, because that is all you are good for. I believe it was something like that. Maybe it was just fuck off. I don't know. But yes. I don't usually talk about that sort of stuff because, it's sad. People got all weird about,
Yeah. But you see, at the very least, you're not committing the absolute bloody heresy for it.
No. I was just, just didn't do what monks were supposed to do, which is essentially mumble and,
Yeah, but that's the bloody thing, though. I turn into bloody mechanical beasts like that robot over there. I don't turn into an animal anymore. I don't think that tribe would be very happy with me if I come back. And I know the clearings, by the way. Like, I could probably guide you to there. But I don't think they're gonna be enjoying my sight.
No, that's okay. Okay, I appreciate that.
I just drink some more. Is the guy back? I want to.
As a matter of fact, it's around this moment that the man comes back from the back room, carrying another 2 glasses of the same ale again, and brings them over to the table and says, I figured that the pair of you could have a couple of these, and so long as you pay for the breakfast, these are on the house. And puts them on the desk for you before making his way back into the back room and saying, it'll be another 5 minutes or so.
Lovely, thank you.
1 second.
So what are these? Are these same ales or are these more?
Same breakfast ales again.
Breakfast ales, excellent.
I'm back. Sorry about that. No privacy, as I said before. Anyway.
As it turns out, this particular variety of drink is intended for day drinking. And morning drinking, as a matter of fact.
Do you have something a bit harder? I've been having a rough day. But
He looks at you with a spot of curiosity in his face and says, "Aye, I can get you something a bit harder, but how hard are we talking here?"
I just look at Bruce and say, "You choose."
Me? What's your hard? What do you got? Bring it on. We're doing this. You really want to do this? Let's do this. I say we do this. Okay.
He looks at you and he says, "Are you in the mood for making mistakes?"
Definitely.
"And how about you?" He looks to CD.
Against my better judgment, yes.
All right then. I'll bring you a mistake maker.
A mistake maker.
And he, you can see there's a bit of a mischievous smile on the man's face as he walks off.
A mistake maker, indeed. When he walks up, when he comes back, I want to talk to him about this. Mistake maker.
All right. He doesn't come back again for a little while, so do continue the conversation.
Anyway, what were we talking about? Just a minute.
I don't know. I'm currently fixated on what might a mistake maker be. But
if he brings us vodka, I'm just going to be rocking through that stuff. But anyway, as I think I was saying before, this bloody animal transformation is akin to blasphemy in here. It's really hideous.
Okay. So you can't. Right. Okay.
I don't know what they would do. They'd either try to fix me or kill me. 50-50, really.
50-50, you go there, they fix you, or they kill you.
They try to fix me, or they try to kill me. Yes.
Ooh. Do you like these people?
Family. Can you hate family?
Almost certainly, yes, you can hate family.
Well, it's kinda hard. You see, druids are not really raised like normal people. How should I say it? You get taught that your pack, your family, is everything for you. You see?
Yes.
But not just in the manner that, oh, you can trust them, or you can do that. No. As in, you need to give your life in order to make sure that whoever, that the rest of the pack can survive and thrive afterwards. Not just like, for example, if there's a predator, you need to give your life. You need to jump in front of the predator or jump with the family. Or if the predator does catch you, you need to fight it as hard as possible just to make sure that the others survive. And they don't have to look back because they know that you've made the commitment to save them. It's sort of like that. It's a deep
self-sacrifice,
deep sacrifice, deep familial bonds that goes really beyond just family.
Okay.
So, for them to see me, disregard all of that, and be me, it's really bad. I mean, hell, most of the druids that you've seen, they only drink on certain occasions, yes?
That is the... yes. Certain occasions is when I've seen... but they drink. Ooh. And sometimes they drink some very interesting things. So I've heard.
Yeah, you've probably seen some of the weaker variants of the three rum, I guess I could call it.
My question to you is, though, that is if you have done this terrible thing, Why did you do this terrible thing? What drove you to do? I mean, you must have you've knowingly and willingly
No.
caused this dishonor on yourself. So
It's not causing this. Okay, look. Ah, bloody hell. Let me just.
I will
He
offer you my flask, and you know you can drink some wine in steak maker that hasn't arrived yet.
All right, as I'm drinking.
Around this moment, the man comes back, and this time he is carrying in each hand a rather small container. Not quite as small as a shot glass, but not quite as just a little bit bigger. And each of these things are made of pewter, and you can see, even as he's coming across the room to you, he has, out of each of these containers, there is a small plume of smoke rising from. In either case, he arrives at the table and he places these two containers in front of you and says, "Now these are mistake makers. I'm not going to charge you for them, because if you drink them, well, that'll be payment in and of itself."
I'll slam it back right in front of him as he says it, and then look at him in the eye.
As soon as you slam it back, he just looks at you with a degree of astonishment before slamming his hand into the back of your shoulder blades and a congratulatory, "Good job, man! That takes balls. Good
All right.
lord."
As they're looking at me, waiting for my reaction, hesitantly, I slam it back as well.
Again, he looks at you and says, "Oh, you two are going to be fun later." And just simply walks off. And I'm going to ask each of you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Wisdom saving throw.
Oh, that's something I am good at.
Yeah, same.
You say you're good at it, Trig, but you do seem to be taking your time.
Yes. Good things come to those who wait. I'm just trying to find. There we are. Okay.
All right.
So-
I would say a pair of you are able to realize that, well, the reason why this is a wisdom saving throw is not because this is having some kind of psychoactive effect on your mind, but because it's a realization that only comes to you a couple seconds after you slam it back, and that is that this was a bright, almost crimson-coloured liquid that was bubbling with smoke. You slammed it back, and yet you can barely even taste what this tasted like, and yet simultaneously you are not yet capable of experiencing any kind of psychoactive effect. You don't seem to be any more drunk than what you were a short time ago. This doesn't seem to have hit you yet. So whatever it is, this probably isn't alcohol.
God damn it! Did someone spike us with LCDs again?
LCDs.
Never mind. That's
Yes.
also character.
Yes.
LSD. Sorry.
Yes, those lights will.
Shut up, bloody up. I'm Arabic. I have almost zero experience with alcohol or drugs. I'm a good boy, as they call it.
Yes. I am too. I know nothing of these LCDs.
Anyway.
Yes, do continue your conversation, and we shall cover the effects of the mistake makers later.
So, we're gonna roll Constitution later. Let me just roll a 1d4. 2. Bloody hell. You know my transformation, why it's so bloody fucked?
No, but I'm sure you're going to tell me why. Why is your
Because
transformation so fast?
when I was a kid, all right. When I was a kid,
Mhm.
I used my tribe. We used to cross these big fuck all mountain next to the Orcish area, Orca, between the
Mhm.
John Sparks and Orca. Every few years, I think. You see, a terrible storm hit us from that fucking jealous god piece of shit. He hit us with a storm that we did not know about. I'm the only one that bloody survived the full on going through. Stumbling around until I fell in Urberg. I started hiding down the fucking streets as a goddamn rat.
Can I interject at this point? I will have downed my entire drink, my second ale, and will be seriously considering thinking of filling it up with the wine that I have in my flask.
Right,
So
okay.
if you can sneakily fill up CD's cask, he wouldn't notice right now.
I would say go ahead and roll yourself a Constitution saving throw in that case, Bruce. Since
Is he
you're
still able to properly fill it? Can he find the good part of the mug?
Do I need a constitution or can I use my practice drinker?
I would
thing.
say this is an ideal opportunity to use practice drinker.
In that case, I will use a dexterity or wisdom saving throw. With a dexterity, because
Also, just go ahead and post the effects of practice drinker for the others to be jealous of.
I will read it out. I have it on the screen at the present moment. It allows the drinker to use a dexterity or wisdom saving throw instead of a constitution saving throw for rolls against the effects of alcohol. For a scrawny little alcoholic person to be able to cope with the amount of alcohol he pours down his face.
Basically, instead of becoming resistant to the effects of alcohol, he's just simply become very efficient at compensating for the effects of alcohol. But
I've
yes,
gotta
please
say,
do carry on.
You have mighty little features and traits.
Yes.
You are a man of character. You don't need them.
Yeah, no, basically I've
All right.
yes. So
All right. As I was talking, as I was saying before, you see, I fell into the city. I just stayed as a bloody rat and kept on heading. I just ate mushrooms grown in the fucking sewers and the moss in there, and I got sick pretty fucking quick. A bloody old man with this ginger beard that's fit for a dwarf
oh no.
just gave me, looked at me,
Are we gonna need
and
a doll in a minute?
took bloody pity on me. He just gave me some the fruits of God. Well, I say that it's meat. He gave me a slice of bacon. He just saw this miserable little thing and just said, "All right, you get a slice of bacon." At first, I was like, "What the what the fuck are you giving me?" But then I just took it since I was hungry, and just I remember it even till now. But
Yes.
that's just the beginning of the corruption. You see, there's a reason why we don't eat meat. It's cause it's like eating ourselves. Like every time I'm eating meat, I'm committing cannibalism.
So hold on a second. So there you are, a poor innocent vegetarian druid wandering around in the big wide world, suffering and feeling from all of the destitution in the world, and some large bearded person comes along and slips you his pork, and from there on in, you're forever changed into a meat eater.
Have you tried bacon?
Yes, I have tried bacon.
Can you tell me that you wouldn't?
Oh, I have on many occasions. Really enjoy bacon.
No. Can you tell me
Bacon's
that you can you quit bacon?
Can I quit bacon? I have no reason to quit bacon. Why would I want to do such a heresy?
That's what I was thinking exactly. But it's not just that. Like, look, the connection to nature is not just some delicate thing that could be broken with that. It takes a really fucking long bit of time to properly break it. But that's just like the push to the hell. We just continued on, and after a while I just started using these abilities for my own good instead of the good in nature, like the good druid. Now I used to be a rat so that I could sneak into houses and see what's valuable and take it back and then sell it later. I used to be a mouse. I used to be a cat to
So
sneak up on the rooftops and hide away from people. Eventually, I just started noticing that parts of me are just more iron and wood than flesh and bone. Eventually, I just started turning into a goddamn barrel for a bear.
You'd think it'd end up turning into a piece of bacon.
Nah!
Yeah.
You're here.
I mean, cool. Grace, have you
definitely sneaks into the bar despite her heavy armor, rolling a natural 20 stealth check.
Anyway, if Bruce is filling up my bottle with wine, I'm just gonna get a lot more drunker.
Yeah, go and then I will give you a that, and that's just
all right.
Knock a couple off there.
You see, my childhood is like I love my family, man, but like it's like rare, man. It felt rare that I was someone rather than something, you know.
Grace, Grace, how did you find the church? I mean, we have CD's life story going off here. Is there anything?
Why, yes, it would appear we have been stalked by a weapon white.
A weapon white?
Indeed, a fell demon from the darkest pits of otherworldly horrors.
I'm telling you here my life story. Why weapon care?
It's okay, CD. I understand you might have thought I was talking about you, but don't worry, you're fine.
No.
You're slightly worse. Anyway, this thing does have a few methods of managing. I managed to secure his place in the local church where Grigori is currently transcribing documentation on the beast.
Okay, we've just had some drinks. Would you like a mistake maker? We've just had one. Don't know what it's done to us yet, but I'm hoping it's going to be interesting. Would you like to join us with one?
Why, that sounds fantastic. Barkeep, another mistake maker then, if you would. And
do you think we should get one for Theo? We should get one for Theo as well. Get him over here and we'll all have a mistake maker.
Absolutely. You know, and Gregory from the church, barkeeper Gregory, he wanted a bottle of wine for communion. He said you normally helped him out with that.
Like a weapon, man.
Yeah, you see as the barkeep pops back out and takes a look around, spots you, Grace, and then says, so you want a mistake maker and a bottle of wine for Gregory, do you?
If you would.
All right, well, Wait there a moment. And sees he pops round to round the back, and then he comes back a couple seconds later and just pops the wine on the side and says, "Get this over to him. By the time you're back, there'll be a mistake maker waiting for you."
I'll
Yes, Clark, yes.
I'll give
That's what I felt, man.
I'll give CD and Cruz a wave, and I'll say I'll be back with Gregory.
It's like it was the thing for nature. Nature this, nature that, nature this, nature that. I served nature, man. I didn't serve myself. And then the big city came in, and I'm just free to do whatever. You know what? You know the thing.
I do know the thing, and oh man, I feel for you. How are you doing with that drink? Do you need any more?
No. Why didn't it finish? Yes, I need more. Barkeep.
He comes back round the front again, this time carrying what appears to be a plate of various foods.
Fantastic.
He comes over and has in front of you a plate that consists of what appears to be various slices of surprisingly fresh-looking meats. Grace, could you mute yourself for just a moment?
Oh, terribly sorry.
Background noise, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It comes and goes. But anyway,
I've got a
Oh, carry.
I've got a lav mic that might be a lot better that I'll use next time.
All right. Well, yeah, give that a try next time. But for now, just stay muted unless you're talking. That's just a safe way to be.
Ah.
So, yeah, the guy with the at the bar comes over with a plate of food that consists of various slices of what appear to be relatively fresh-looking cooked meats. There appears to be bits of chicken and pork, and more chicken and more pork, and you get the impression of how this is going to go. Interestingly enough, he has alternated them into a somewhat stripy artisanal style.
Is there any chicken in egg format?
There is no eggs, unfortunately. None whatsoever, I'm afraid. Not even scrambled egg in a cup, like the last time you went to a tavern. Not even that. But what there is juxtapositioned to the rather artisanally styled layered chicken and pork, there is just a large, singular, rounded, approximately onion-shaped loaf of bread that is just sat there, uncut, and apparently freshly baked.
Thanks. I'm feeling hungry.
Awesome.
All right, that'll be 2 silver for the plate.
The Gopnik just takes out a bloody golden coin and just keep us entertained.
Yeah, he gives you a salute that looks surprisingly naval inspired, and then takes the gold coin and says, "Writer, give me a shout if you need anything."
Another couple of ales would be nice. Yeah, that's what he said.
He gives you a thumbs up from behind as he's walking back towards the back of the room.
I'm going to pull a hearty chunk of bread off and sort of basically wrap it in meat in some sort of perverse inversion of a sausage roll and eat it.
Alrighty then. So,
Alright, sorry, speak.
As Groose goes in and takes a chunk out of the bread, you notice that it's not pre-sliced. Instead, it is just a single uncut loaf. And it's surprisingly soft and fluffy. Like,
bread.
It's less of a chewy bread and more of a, it's almost like pastry, but not quite.
CD is just going to be eating meat and a chunk of bread every once in a while.
Well, once you take a few chunks out of the bread, you suddenly notice that the texture on the interior of this loaf rapidly changes into something that is far more gooey. And as the pair of you dig further and further into the loaf, you suddenly realize that you appear to have been served what can best be described as molten cheese inside a loaf of bread.
Ah, cheese. You know we didn't have cheese. You know we didn't have cheese when we were kids. It's 'cause it comes from nature. No, but
Oh,
bad. It's like anything that's fun is bad for you because nature.
You know that moment when you're at a party and you feel yourself cornered by someone that's talking at you constantly.
Look, he doesn't get drunk for this goddamn reason.
Goose is feeling that right now.
I do know that feeling. It's usually you to blame, Trigger.
Yes, that too.
Oh, hello, not so obvious.
How's it going, dude?
Just in the middle of a D&D game.
We are streaming at the present moment. Yes.
Link me up, boys. I want to see.
It's in the pinned messages.
I don't.
Cool.
I will.
Thank you very much.
One. He is going to be talking about. What did I say he was going to be talking about?
While CD is talking at Bruce trying to eat his meal.
About his early childhood and why it makes him sad. Yes. Help.
Yeah, presumably I can arrive at the church with this bottle of wine.
As you,
she's not saving you. She's just delaying the inevitable.
When you arrive, you note that Theo is, Grigori is still writing away, but doesn't seem to be continuously writing the passage, but has instead seemingly moved on to taking notes of the interior of the church. As you see, the old man Gregory has apparently fallen asleep.
Grigori. How goes the notes?
I think since Theo isn't able to speak anymore, we'll have to wait for him to type, I'm afraid.
I shall point out to Grigori through whatever conversation that we have been offered some mistakes as a beverage, and that he should come join us in the tavern and dispense this wine to the elderly man who is asleep, and then return.
All right. Theo, would you like me to speak on your behalf for now? Right. Grigori looks at you and just puts a finger to his lips as if to keep your voice down before just walking over and without any words and doing his best to be as quiet as possible, takes the bottle of wine and just places it on the pew next to the old man. He shows you the page in his own notes, with the writing clearly finished off, and makes his way back over to the old man to take a blanket that he has apparently retrieved from the old man's sleeping quarters and just drapes it over him in order to make sure that he doesn't catch a chill before giving you a silent hand gesture to follow him out of the chapel.
I'll follow him out and guide him to the tavern.
All right. Upon arriving at the tavern, I would say that Grigori mostly just sits down in a corner before just mentioning to you that he's going to take this time to gather his thoughts and that he'd like to sit alone for the time being. But that if he's needed, he'll be there for whatever reason, but would prefer to be left alone for now. But yes, when you arrive back at the tavern, Grace, you see a relatively small, almost looks like a slightly oversized egg cup, made of pewter and filled with this odd, almost blood red liquid that seems to have a small degree of bubbling to it, with this vaporous smoke rising out of it.
Yes.
A quick jump back into your own memory would allow you to work out that this is probably the mistake maker you asked for earlier.
I shall throw it back and take it like a shot.
Right. Once again, like the other two, taking it like a champ and making sure to not let it even so much as you have a hint of touching the sides as it hits your stomach. You yourself, go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw.
Righto, I'm reasonable at those.
A wisdom save of 9. I would say that you are surprised at the overall lack of intensity of the drink and are beginning to think that maybe the mistake in the mistake maker is in paying for such a drink. But in either case, you join your other two friends who are apparently becoming progressively more and more drunk as time goes on.
Yeah, at this point, CD is just complaining about his role in nature, not the role in nature, his role as a young adult in a progressively improving society, just on the verge of the industrial revolution and industrialization. He's not stupid. He knows that. He just continues to complain. I'm just not going to bore you guys with all of that complaining unless you want me to.
Groose is considering whether or not if they drink all the ale out of the barrel, whether they could use the barrel to put CD into and then sort of push him down the river a bit.
And as you're thinking that, you hear him slam his mug on the ground. But you know what's worse?
Oh God! Tell me what is worse. I have no idea. What could be worse than this? This is already so terrible.
You know, I used to like a girl.
Oh no, not this.
Yes. See,
why is this happening?
Like, because you get me drunk. When I get drunk, I talk and talk and continue to talk. It's like something in me is open and drink lets it open, but I don't want drink, so it continues being in, and just when you give me drink, it opens and love life. You see, I like a girl. She was pretty, but she was like the top boss girl. You see, like she's like, what's the word? Mistress?
I'm beginning to feel like we need another round of mistake makers. Just
right. Well, mistake maker. No.
Speaking of the mistake maker, I would like the three of you to each roll me a 1d3, please.
Righto.
And I shall PM to you the effects of the mistake maker.
So, Bruce, what have you done to CD? Why have you made him worse?
I didn't do this. He did this to himself. In fact, no. But worse than that, he did this to me. Ooh. Okay.
Oh, that is perfect, Ginger. Now you need to type it out 3 separate times. You can't just copy and paste.
Hey, at least I didn't let you hear about the Industrial Revolution and how it will affect his place in life.
I swear I will kill you.
I skipped on that. You should be fine. Look, this will teach you that not everyone should get drunk, alright?
No, everyone should get drunk. I have found out valuable things about your childhood. No doubt. In fact, how much have I found out about your childhood? Have you said stuff that you don't realize you've said to me? Because
yes.
in talking with the help of alcohol, people tend to say things that they don't maybe mean to say.
Yes, I've told you about my corruption of nature. You basically know now exactly where the trees are, even if you don't want to.
Okay.
You basically know how the tribe usually moves, because the movement, like when to actually try and get friendly with them. You now know how their customs work, and whether you like it or not, as I said before. And you now know exactly what to say if you want CD to be killed by the tribe.
Uh-huh.
Oh no!
You should all now be familiar with the effects of the mistake maker.
Oh shit! Shit!
I'm going to say, inform. You are not allowed to inform the people in the audience of precisely what the mistake maker does. However, you must act it out accordingly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, Grace, you've got really attractive eyes. I never noticed before.
Don't look at him. Look at me. I'm still here. You both have the same eyes. I have green. Look.
I'll reach over. I'll reach over and stroke CD's arm and go, it's okay. It's okay. You don't. We know you're here.
Oh,
and I'll look at you.
I think I figured out what the fuck the mistake maker is. Can I roll a wisdom saving throw? Can I roll a wisdom?
He's so caring as well.
Can I roll a wisdom to figure out what the hell happened to me?
Later. Although,
right.
Grigori, do feel free to roll a check of your choice to try and figure out precisely the effects of the mistake maker.
Wait. Oh, that bartender is a son of a fucking. If there was only guys between us, oh god damn it, that would have turned real awkward.
Still pretty awkward, dude. Just saying.
I'll go ahead and just describe to Theo what the effects of the mistake maker are, so that everybody in the audience can also find out. The mistake maker causes you to mistake your friends for someone to commit a mistake with. Also known as causes you to fall in love with a given individual.
The fuck did you just post, Theo?
You know, Grace, this guy, he's such a downer. We should go somewhere.
What about me?
With this guy? But he's so lovely. Look, he is having a bad time of it at the moment. I think it would be a terrible idea. Look at him.
You look just like her.
And as I'll just sort of
nice.
squeeze his bicep a little.
So no, he's so drunk he didn't even realize.
I shall slap him.
Slap me?
Of course.
CD just rolls back and says, "More, mommy."
I am so tempted to draw my sword on that. I'm going to jump back. I'm sorry.
Nah, it's alright. No, I'm used to that.
Look, Grace, let's get away from this. This is a nightmare. I'll tell you what, if we get away from this, we don't even have to deal with the demon or anything. It could be just us against the world, making money, wine.
I mean,
he's just asleep right now.
I'm sorely tempted, but we can't leave this guy like this. I mean, look at him lying there. He's I mean, could you? I can't leave him like this. Look, he's one of. But I I'm slightly concerned about this mummy business. But no.
Guys. You're lovely.
I need to look. We should get a room. We should get a tavern room. It's what we do in taverns. We get rooms.
We should get a room. What? All together? The three of us?
So
we keep.
No, we're not having a threesome. Please don't. Let us
I'd say each of you give me a perception check.
Oh dear God.
Please.
The thing is, remember, you're immensely drunk, and people do horrendous things when they are immensely drunk. Perception check.
Mm-hmm. I would say between the three of you, only CD manages to spot the grinning like a Cheshire Cat barman staring at your table from a distance with what can best be described as a look of pure evil across his face. He's also barely holding back a laugh as he listens into the conversation that's taking place.
You think it's funny? Because, I've never had love? Huh?
Yes!
Wait, never?
Oh. Didn't I tell you that? Yes. You do realize how intensely now you know everything about him.
I would put this poor foolish druid out of his misery if that's what it would take to get some time with you, Bruce.
You take my virginity?
Well, we could bring him along with us, sure.
At that point, I would bring a sword.
This is super fucking fun. CD just starts laughing the fuck out.
At this point, the relatively short duration of the Mistake Maker ends on both CD and Bruce, with the pair of you coming to realize not only what has happened, but also being imparted with an unnatural sense of the true effects of the Mistake Maker.
But
I'm going to recoil back from stroking his arm and go, "Ha! I must know how to make this drink. This is amazing. This a grin like madman and go, not gonna happen, dude. Sorry, but I know what was happening. It's like, but no."
At this point, you see the barman burst out into raucous laughter, slamming the desk as he goes, barely holding back his hilarity.
Me too. I'm going to laugh along with him, and I go, dude, you must tell me how to make that. I need to know how to make that. You have no idea. I need.
He just calls He just calls over, later, there's still one more, as he points over at Grizz.
This guy is totally broken. We should go somewhere away from him before he breaks us too.
Just before, as the two, you see him slap CD with surprisingly strong enough hit. Huh? Fuck. I don't like you. What the fuck did you slap me? Don't even look like her. Jesus.
I shall throw CD a blade, but he may catch it.
Do I catch it?
We duel for this, CD.
Duel for wait, the fuck? No, duel for what?
I shall have him.
I'm gonna jump in the way. I'm gonna jump in the way there and go, Grace. There's no need for that. There is no. Just forget about him. It's okay. You don't need to fight. Okay, there's no need for that because I've seen what happens when you fight before. Calm down. There's no need for it.
Then you know what? You no longer want him.
No, I definitely no longer want him. No, definitely not.
Then where are we going? Take me somewhere.
Perhaps you just need to sit down for a little while. We'll just sit here, we'll talk, and we'll have a drink, and we'll have some... Look, there's still some meat and cheese and bread and stuff. Have a little to eat, and we'll see how you feel in 5 or 10 minutes.
At this point, CD doesn't even give a shit about Bruce or Grace. He just went to annoy Grigori.
Grace,
seeing
at this point, as you see CD walking off, suddenly the effects of the mistake maker wear off on you. You are suddenly imbued with the knowledge of precisely what this drink was, and feel free to act accordingly.
As this is wearing off, the first thing you hear is me with a big chunk of meat in my hand going, "Can I give you some meat?" After it's worn off.
I shall slap you clean across the face and be called heresy.
Greg, you're not a man. You're not bad. You're misunderstood, man. You're a person inside, but like you're caged because you think you need to be, but like you don't. You care, but you can't show that you care. Yes, you may be an elf, but you're a person inside. Exactly. I'm sorry about the bad things I said, I don't really mean it. I'm just like these defense mechanisms that I use in order to push people away from me because I'm afraid of letting them in, man. Yes.
Enough of this heresy and corruption. We should take to the church and do some more study before we must face this beast.
No, I need to tell him that I'm sorry, man. Like I've been insulting him, and I've asked for him to fight me, and I've done all that, but he's like,
for the sake of the gods, I'm gonna slap Gottnik across not Gottnik. I'm gonna slap him across the back and give him a 5 points of lay on hands to cure poison.
Okay. You are suddenly imbued with a snap of the fingers instant sense of sobriety, and all of the mind-addling effects of alcohol are immediately wiped away from you.
Oh, what the fuck?
She literally just slapped sense into you.
Yes, she slapped sense into me, but as he slapped sense into him, he just, you know how dangerous that was? You can't just turn someone's state of mind like that on a whim. Ow, my head.
Yes, I can. I just did it.
Yeah, but now I have a hangover without even the sleeping part. Ouch. The fuck was I talking about just now? Gee.
Too much. We need to go do some research. We've been Very kindly offered.
What did
Vast amounts of information from the church.
Do
What
you
did
not,
I tell
do
you?
you not want some bread and cheese and meat? And I need to talk to the
What?
barman. Just very quickly. I need a pen and paper, and I need to talk to the barman desperately
But
about.
before you go talk to the barman, Goblin is just grabbing you and just saying, "What did I fucking tell you?" Just looking in your eyes.
In my eyes,
Yes.
I'm going to grin and say everything. Too much. Too much is
Oh,
the only
fuck.
thing I can say. Too much.
He just lets you out and just.
It's okay, dude.
Ah.
We're okay. You'll be. Yeah. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
Where's the church? He asks Grace. Where's the church?
The church. It's just up the road there.
Alright, I'm going. Dun, 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 dun.
I shall enjoy something for breakfast, I think. And then I think we should all head over.
Cool.
There's still a nice cheesy loaf that's been left partially eaten on the table, surrounded by slices of mixed pork and chicken. That seems to all be still somewhat mostly fresh and ready to be eaten. And
I feel
after eating rations on the road and kobold cooking for several days, it looks utterly mouth-watering.
I feel we should also spend the night in the church. Make sure that
Kiki.
sanctified ground.
Cool.
Well,
Keep the demons at bay while we actually get some proper rest.
Well, as I said earlier, the session is. Pardon me, hiccup. The session is going to be coming to a close somewhat soon. But before we do, we shall say that the session ends with all of the party meeting up at the church in order to have a holy sanctified sleep. But just before that, Bruce, you wanted to know more about the Mistake Maker.
Yes, very much so.
Well, as you go over to the barman and inquire, he pulls out a large wine bottle that looks like it's been made of some kind of deep red glass and has absolutely no labeling on it whatsoever. And he says, This is Mistake Maker, and what it is it's well, I wish I could tell you how it's made, but I will tell you how I got it. So, one time, there was a guy who was just traveling around. He had this weird get-up on him, and one of the things that it was it kind of looks like it had a great big crow's beak on a mask, and leather jacket and things like that, and weird-looking fellow, but he gave me this in exchange for being able to stay the night. And he said that this was a bottle of one of the most valuable potions he's ever had. He called it a love potion, but twisted by evil. And according to what he said, this is made by devils, and not the evil "I'll steal your soul" kind, but the kind of devil that's more interested in just sowing a bit of chaos and making fun of us mortal folks.
Yeah.
But anyway, this stuff, yeah, it's good fun, don't you think? I wish I could. I wish I could sell you a bottle, but this is the last of it, I'm afraid. And I'd say I maybe have another 2 or 3 shots of it left. But I'm keeping this for myself. It's not for sale. I get too much fun out of watching people drink it.
That's a damn shame. I would love to get my hands on this.
Yeah. Keep an eye out. I hear those tiefling folks sometimes carry it around.
The tieflings make it, huh?
Sometimes they apparently they do a lot of dealings with the Nine Hells, and sometimes they get some of this stuff as a bit of well, they can't really have alcohol in their society, so they deal with other stuff instead. And as he says stuff, he jiggles the bottle around in his hand for tucking it back underneath an apparently rather well-stocked bar.
Well, thank you for that. I will look out for some tieflings in the future because this stuff, that is, I can have some fun with that.
Oh,
I can
it is
have
good fun.
real fun with that.
Best piece of advice I can give you: give it to two people who hate each other.
That's what I was thinking.
I once had the opportunity to give this to a shot of two folks who'd just broken up, and when they came down off it, that was well, they haven't been back since. Let's just put it that way. Anyway, sounds like you've got some business to deal with the old man. So wish him the best for me.
Will do, and thank you for that. That was fun.
No problem. Wish to see you again.
Cheers, and we'll make our way to the church.
All right. Well, as I said earlier, I think that is where we're going to call the session, unless anybody has anything else they wish to get off their chest right now.
What did I agree to get drunk?
I think I'm good.
Yep. No, I think.
Did I act like I'm actually drunk, or was my acting bad?
You did what people in the business was called hamming it up, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Look, I've not even touched alcohol in my life. So,
I was going to say, acting drunk with no frame of reference whatsoever is very difficult. Acting drunk, even when you know how to be drunk, is actually kind of difficult. It's it's kind of a unique state of mind.
To give you an idea of what I sound like when I'm drunk, during our first session, I was quite drunk.
Yeah, I figured. Everyone was, except for me. I had water. I still...
Water.
Well, in either case, that is an end to the session. And Trig, if you would like to bring an end to the stream, I wish everybody else that is listening a delightful night, and if you're listening to the recording, a delightful day.
Yay.
Right, let's end up now. It's not like we've got very many viewers at the present moment. So, yeah, good night from me and good night from everyone else, and see you next time.
See you next week.
Latest, guys.
I like to believe that one day someone in the future is going to find this